Yes, every day these days can feel like another Trump totalitarianism Tuesday, except for the fact that in this breaking story, Trump just got stuck in the corner and told to take a damn time out. And I'm going to show you that incredibly important story in just a few minutes. But the old cliche that goes in sports is anytime an athlete on a contract negotiation says it's not about the money, I assure you, it's about the money. And when it comes to Donald J. Trump, who's enriching himself beyond words, has blown the emoluments clause to where it doesn't even exist anymore, you can bet it's always about the money. But when it comes to Trump, it's really about Trump's money friends. But when one of those money people actually tells you to shut the hell up, you might want to actually listen. I'm going to show that story to you in just a few seconds. It's unbelievable. But this is what Trump has been trying to pull, again, playing dictator and totalitarianism guy. But this is what he's recently done with Jerome Powell, who is the Federal Reserve Chair. This.
New today, National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett revealing the White House is looking into whether President Trump has authority to fire Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. This comes after the president criticized Powell for not dropping the interest rate by 3 points. He did that while speaking to the press on Friday.
The Federal Reserve Act says, of course, and you've heard this a number of times, that the Fed governors can't be fired except for cause. The Federal Reserve Act says each member holds a term of office for 14 years, unless sooner removed for cause by the president. Now, what does for cause mean? That's going to be the key here. It's undefined. Historically, courts have construed it as misconduct, incompetence, or incapacity, but it's never been litigated in terms of the Fed. The Supreme Court now considering those two cases with the National Labor Relations Board and the Merit Systems Protection Board. As Board of Governor Chair, Jay Powell's term expires in May of 2026.
And Lord Jesus knows at this point we don't want SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, to take up any damn thing because they seem like they go towards Trump 9 out of 10 times. But Trump actually said this that led to this issue, which caused this breaking story.
We have a bad Fed chairman, really bad. If he would lower the rates, and I tried being nice to the guy, it doesn't help. He's like a knucklehead. Stupid guy. He really is. You know, each point, think of this, each point costs us $360 billion. Billion. 1 point, $360 billion. 2 points, you got $700 billion. We're way high. We're at 450? And how do you go borrow money at 1% when the Fed has you at 450?
So with that kind of denigration, that kind of call out, that kind of severity, guess what just happened? One of the wealthiest guys on the planet and a guy who is the CEO of JPMorgan, Jaime Dimon, one of the largest entities on the globe, had a little note for Dandy Donald Trump in terms of you better sit down, shut up, and behave. Check out this story. Breaking news in quotes. Playing around. JPMorgan CEO sends Trump warning over high-profile feud. JPMorgan Chase CEO Jaime Dimon issued a warning to President Donald Trump after his continued attacks on Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. The New York Times reported Tuesday that when Dimon spoke to reporters, he cautioned that consequences could be forthcoming if Trump doesn't cool it. In quotes, playing around with the Fed can often have adverse consequences, the absolute opposite of what you might be hoping for, said Dimon after the release of the quarterly earnings report. In quotes, I think the independence of the Fed is absolutely critical, he noted. The Wall Street Journal noted that thus far, Trump has escaped a market freakout over his attacks on Powell. In quotes, one reason, investors think that such a move would be counterproductive to Trump's aim of lowering borrowing costs because it would cause a sell-off in treasuries, driving their yields higher, the report claimed. In quotes, those set a floor on interest rates across the economy, including those on mortgages, student loans, and corporate bonds. Trump's lender, Deutsche Bank, made a darker prediction if Trump were to fire Powell. In quotes, both the currency and the bond market can collapse. See, this entire story is once again one of my theories about all these people going all the way back to 2015 and beyond who think somehow a private business person running the government would do it better. There may be elements of that are true, but the problem is, what is the philosophy of that private businessman? And the philosophy of Donald Trump is, well, I'm going to screw you over by filing bankruptcy. That's literally his MO. That's his modus operandi, his entire life and career. But you can't do that to the United States of America, and that's exactly why a lot of his policies and his belief systems and philosophies are absolutely failing. Farmers are filing bankrupt every single day because of what he's doing with tariffs. That's when a private businessman doesn't know what the hell he's talking about in terms of the global marketplace and the domino effect of being stupid. So when someone like Jaime Dimon tells you to sit down, shut up, and stop talking to the Fed chair, you know what, Donnie? You might want to listen. You guys, stay frosty.